Hello. Before we dive into this week's episode, I want to invite you to a brand new series that I have coming up called the Aligned Signature Program Summer Series. And this is going to be for you if you have run programs before, but for some reason they felt off. Maybe your last program felt heavy. Maybe it felt like it was really hard to deliver. Maybe you felt like you overdid it and it burned you out. Maybe you felt like you just didn't have the structure that you wanted and you didn't feel confident in the results that you were going to get people. Maybe you didn't fill it the way that you wanted to. If you have been running a program in the past and you know you want to create a signature program, one that really creates that consistent growing revenue that you want in your business without taking more of your time, one that feels really aligned, one that you know gets amazing results, I would love to invite you to our Aligned Signature Program Summer Series. I have never done a series before, and I'm not sure if I'll ever do one again. This is a first time. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I believe wholeheartedly in implementation strategies. So if you've been listening for a little while, you may have heard me talk about them. Implementation strategies are what get your clients and your students out of note-taking mode and even breakthroughs. Like breakthroughs are amazing. We love breakthroughs. We love learning, but I want to help you get your clients into action so that they can get results. And that is what this summer series is going to be about. I am going to give you the opportunity to really take action as well. There's going to be breakout rooms, visualizations, journaling exercises. Like it is going to be such a beautiful experience for you to feel inspired, to feel clear on what your next steps are, and to really give you those first steps too, to be able to create that aligned signature program. And I promise some of the content that I am going to be sharing, you will have never heard before, and it is going to give you such an aha. So if that sounds like something that you want to look into this summer, I would love to have you there. We are going to have the links in the show notes. So pause this episode, take a look, sign up, and let's move on to this week's episode of the Align and Inspire podcast. You are listening to the Align and Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Monique, and in this episode, I want to share 5 toxic thoughts to avoid as a coach. So I've been in business for 7 years now, and I am the kind of person who always wants to be further along. I always want to hit my goals. I'm a ruler in the sacred money archetypes, if you've heard me speak about that. And I'm a very ambitious person. And sometimes I remember feeling like, oh, why am I not getting there yet? Why am I not at the place that I want to be yet? And when I look back and when I see many of my clients, a lot of it has to do with the thoughts, the toxic thoughts that I want to share with you today. Some people say that the first 100K is all mindset in online business, and I wouldn't quite agree with that. I think there is a lot of strategy skills that you really need to learn to become an online business owner, especially if you come from a different background like I do as a teacher or an educator. But there is a lot of mindset work that you need to do because the thing is, many of us weren't really taught to become an entrepreneur, right? Like I grew up with many teachers in my life. My mom was a teacher, aunts, uncles, like my husband's a teacher, my friends were teachers. So many of my family were teachers. We went to school and when you think about how school is run, it's really run to teach you how to work for someone else. Where I am in British Columbia, we do work a lot on critical thinking, on innovation and things like that. But there is so much of this idea of like, you need to get the credentials and then you apply for your work, or you go to university and then you can become certified and then you can do this job, right? And I know for me, and I don't know about you listening, I know for me when I was growing up, I didn't have that many examples of people who were running businesses. Most people I knew worked for someone else, and that was the reality that I knew. And so the beliefs that you have and the way that you see the world, if you grew up like me, were likely to help you succeed in some sort of 9 to 5, right? And so what feels rational and logical isn't actually necessarily going to support you as you become an entrepreneur. And a lot of the thoughts that I want to share with you today are really going to seem very rational. It's going to seem quite counterintuitive if you haven't been in business for a while to change your thoughts around this, but it is so pivotal that you do. And I was inspired by one of my mentors. His name is Colin Boyd. He's been my mentor for the last year and a half now. He did a podcast episode on the 5 toxic thoughts that he sees for coaches. And I loved that concept. And I wanted to bring this to my podcast as well and share 5 other toxic thoughts that I see in myself, that I've gone through, that I see in my clients, in Signature Program Design members. And you can check out his podcast too. His name is Colin Boyd. It's The Expert Edge. It's a great podcast. I love that episode. And today I want to share those 5 toxic thoughts for you to avoid as well. But before we jump in, I want to share that I am running a brand new series coming up very shortly at the end of the month in July called the Summer Series, the Aligned Signature Program Summer Series. And this is going to be for you if you have run a program before and it felt off for some reason. It felt unaligned. It felt heavy. It felt like it just wasn't quite it. Maybe it didn't sell the way you wanted. You were worried that you weren't going to get the results. If that's you, I would love for you to come to our summer series. It's going to be a really hands-on experience. We're going to be doing a lot of more, not just listening and taking notes like you normally would in a webinar or in a masterclass. I really want to dive deep with you and do like journaling and breakout rooms and visualizations and really a lot to help you take the concepts that we're going to be looking at and really apply them to your business. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in, I would love to have you join us. I am going to put the links in the show notes so that you can join us on that summer series. And let's get into the 5 toxic thoughts to avoid as a coach. So the first one that I hear is some sort of variation of I'm not ready yet. And the thing is it's sneaky because it doesn't always come up for people that way. You might be thinking this if you think something like, I just need to do something first, then I can create my signature program. You might think, I just need to make some more money first, and then I'll be ready to devote the time to creating my signature program. Or I just need to work with more clients first, and then I can create my signature program. Or I just need to finish this other thing first, and then I can create my signature program. And what is underneath a lot of this is a thought of, I'm not ready yet. I will be ready when. And the issue with saying I will be ready when is it's very conditional thinking. It's leaving you up to it's making the external circumstances dictate what's possible for you. Does that make sense? So if you're saying, oh, I just need to wait until summer is over and then my kids are back at school or my kids are back at university or whatever, then it's like, then I'm going to have the time. Then it's going to be the right time. Or I just need to get some more clients first and make some more money first, and then I'll be able to do it. Then it takes your power away. And you are not in control of how you're going to actually run your business, really. Because to be a successful entrepreneur is you have to be so responsible for everything that happens in your life, and you have to make things happen. Like, that is the challenge. Like, sometimes I find, I need to work on my business and I don't have the energy or I'm tired. And I'm not saying you always have to push through, but sometimes I just am not motivated, right? And I remember the days where I could just show up to class to teach and I could coast a little bit. I didn't coast all the time, but some days if I was tired or whatever, I could kind of coast a little bit and I would still get paid. You know what I mean? But as an entrepreneur, you're responsible for making the revenue happen in your business. It's not to say you can't have automated funnels and all that kind of stuff, but you are responsible for making sure that you get paid, right? And so you need to be fully in your power, in control of how, or in the driver's seat of your life. Does that make sense? So when you say, I need to do this first, or this needs to happen first, maybe that's how you, that is true for you, for sure. But if you're always waiting for the perfect circumstances, I think you and I can both agree that they're not, like, that just doesn't exist, right? And so what if it wasn't about being ready, but it was about commitment? Deciding that I am committed to making this work, and therefore I'm going to do it now, even though my circumstances aren't perfect. Because when you think about it, when you think about any kind of big thing that you've done, have the circumstances been perfect for you to be able to do it? Like if you had children, for example, I don't know about you, but I was like, I don't think you're ever going to fully be ready to have kids. You just need to just do it, right? Like you become ready as you go. Even when I think about traveling, I've traveled quite a lot before I had children. We're going to get there. I'm going to bring them along. We're getting so close to going to travel again. I did a lot of traveling before I had kids. And when I think about it, like when I went to China by myself and Japan to visit friends who were teaching there, or when I've been to all sorts of different parts of the world, it's not like I was necessarily ready for it because I had never done it before. You need to actually go to do the things, and then you become ready as you do it. It's the action that makes you able to do it. Does that make sense? So it's not like you can just wait until you're ready and then all of a sudden one day you'll feel ready and then you can go for it. You have to decide and do it before you're ready, because you're never going to be ready. It's the action of doing it that makes you ready. So if you've ever thought, I just need to do this first, or I'm not quite ready yet, I wonder if you are letting your external circumstances dictate how you are living, and you need to flip that if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur, because you need to be in the driver's seat. You need to be committed and in your power to be able to really find success in your business. Does that make sense? So that's the first big idea or the first toxic thought that I hear is, I'm not ready yet. The next one that I hear is that sometimes people think that it's only possible to make money in a money-making niche, or more specifically in a business niche or in the business space. So I remember when I was mentoring teachers, I would see all these ads for people who were in the business space. And it seemed like every success story that I heard were people who were coaching businesses. And I was like, well, that's nice for you, like, right? I mean, you're helping people make money. It's different for you. And I know a lot of people have this thought, and I worked hard to let go of it, because I thought about, like, of course I'm seeing all these marketers and business coaches pop up on my Instagram feed because they know how Facebook ads work. And that's what I'm interested in. They're good marketers. The algorithm is working. That's what I care about. I want to grow my business. Of course, I'm going to see those ads, right? Like, that makes sense. And I let go of that belief, right? Because the ads you see are not like the world. They're the ads, and the posts you see are based on your interests, right? Like right now I'm getting a lot of like baby Instagram posts and and it's not because I want to have a baby. I think it was like I heard, like, Instagram probably heard me talking about my friends having babies, because some of them are still having babies. And then I just like really enjoy watching those things and thinking like, oh, that's so nice for you. I'm so glad I'm not pregnant anymore. I do not want to have babies anymore. My kids are 5 and 8. I'm very happy to be out of the baby stage. And so I see the things that I'm interested in. Right. And so if you're seeing a lot of business content on your feeds, that's because the algorithm is working and you're interested in those things. Right. So I was able to start letting go of that belief. And then it came up again when I started working with entrepreneurs. So I remember I was still mentoring teachers. I was still selling my curriculum for teachers. And I started working with entrepreneurs on the side. And I would have a sales call with entrepreneurs, and it was so easy to make sales. I was like, oh my gosh, all of that time where I was trying to help teachers, like it just made me so great at sales because like they were so much harder to sell to. This was my thought, right? And I thought, oh my gosh, it really is easier in the business space because entrepreneurs are more willing to invest. So that's kind of what I was thinking. And then I went to go scale. And then I went to go to newer audiences, colder audiences, and grow my programs. And let me tell you, it was not that way. All of a sudden, it became so hard to make new sales. And it's not to say that it's impossible. And I have made sales. Of course, I wouldn't still be here if I hadn't made sales and I hadn't kind of pushed through that hurdle. But when I had that experience, I realized, no, it's not only the people who are in the in this business space or the money making space who are making money. That's not the only way to make money. It's the reason, A, that you see people making money who are in the business coaching space, or A, yes, you see their ads, the algorithm is working and you're going to notice those people. But also, they're good marketers. They teach business and they are good at business. They are good at marketing. They're good at selling. They're good at the strategies that you need in business. So they're going to make more money. It's not necessarily that their niche is easier. It's different. So what I realized when I look back is with my teacher mentoring program, it worked, but there was some resistance or some like friction that I felt. And for a while, I thought it was maybe because there weren't that many examples and like that much demand for what I was doing. But I don't think it was really that. I think it was more that I was trying to make a B2B model work with a B2C model. So teachers, what they really want to pay for, generally speaking, is curriculum. And you want to sell people what they want, not what you want them to want, right? And so they weren't looking for a higher ticket group coaching program. They weren't. The thing that really would work well for teachers, mentoring teachers, if you are a teacher mentor, because I know some of you listening are teacher mentors, I think are like memberships where they're going to have community, where they're going to feel supported, where there might be resources, teaching resources for them to have access to that help them save time. Yes, they might want to have some coaching and some group coaching, but in a membership in a lower ticket kind of way, I think that can really work well in the teaching space. But the way I was trying to sell it, I had other friction, right? The thing in business is, yes, sometimes business owners are more likely to invest because they can make more money, but not always, actually. I was really surprised to learn that I find the same level of resistance to spending money in the business space as I did in the teaching space, which blew my mind. The thing I find with business is it's just a more saturated market, and maybe your market is like this too. There's just a lot of choice in the business industry, which there was maybe less when I was mentoring teachers. So yes, maybe sometimes entrepreneurs are more willing to invest, though I honestly don't think that's always, I found many people are not necessarily. It's just different. There are just different challenges and different niches. So what the reframe that I would invite you to think about is first, yes, you're seeing those ads and stuff like that because that's what you're interested in. And business coaches do well in business because they're good at those skills. But also that it just needs to be a market offer match. So the program that you offer needs to work in your niche. A B2B model won't necessarily work for you if you're B2C. And by the way, B2B, B2C, B2B, business to business, B2C, business to consumer. If you are because most people who are listening aren't B2B, I would say you're likely B2C. So if you sell to teachers, if you sell like relationship coaching, if you sell parenting coaching, if you sell any kind of mentorship, odds are you're probably B2C. Now you might be in like some sort of career coaching where you can help people make more money, but it just needs to be a match so that your market, it's what not they're willing to pay for, but like what's an appropriate program or appropriate price point for your market? And are you creating a program that's going to work for your market? So it's not that it's only possible to make money in the business space. It's more about, do you have a good market, like a market offer match? Like, are you solving the problem that people already want to solve and are willing to pay for? That's what matters, not necessarily that you're in the business niche. So that's the second big idea. Or the second thought. People think it's only possible to make money in money-making businesses or in the business space, which is simply not true. The next toxic thought that I see is that I'm not enough of an expert, or I don't have a unique method that is going to get people results. Therefore, and you remember, like, the beliefs, this is what you think, therefore I can't, or therefore I need to stop, or therefore I'm not ready, right? This is kind of a variation of the first one. So if you ever thought, I'm worried that I'm not enough of an expert, I'm not qualified enough. For example, maybe you think, other people in my space have their masters and I don't have my masters. Therefore, like, I feel some imposter syndrome. Or maybe I just need to do another coaching certification and then I'll be more qualified, then I'll be ready. Or I don't have a unique method yet, and therefore, like, I'm not ready yet, or I'm not enough of an expert yet, right? And what I would say around this is it's so understandable. I have felt this many times. The thing I find about like, quote unquote imposter syndrome is partially it's that you're doing something new and your brain, like your subconscious mind, your primitive mind, takes anything new to be a threat. So anything that feels new to your mind is going to see as a threat because it's wired to keep you safe. So even if you consciously know that this new thing isn't dangerous, it's going to feel dangerous in your, like, to your subconscious mind, right? And so to me, partially imposter syndrome is that you're going out there and you're creating this new program, maybe in a new niche, maybe in a new way, and your mind is going to find ways to protect you because that new thing feels dangerous. And so it's going to tell you whatever it can to keep you, quote unquote, safe. And so one of the ways that it can make you feel safe is by saying you're not enough of an expert and feeling that imposter syndrome. But really, that's your mind trying to keep you safe. Does that make sense? Because if you're listening to this, odds are very good that you actually have a ton of expertise, because I know from my clients who feel this have a ton of expertise, but it's that fear when you're doing something new, putting yourself out there, that can hold you back and trigger that feeling of imposter syndrome. So what I would say to counter this is you need to give your mind proof that you are an expert, and also regulating your body when you do something new. So let's talk about those two things. When you are going out to do something new and you're not trusting your own expertise, the more you can go out and help people, the more you're going to realize how much more you know, how much you can help them, how much your experience, your skills can support the people that you want to help. It's really about proving to your mind that actually you do have the expertise. And even if you don't have, now the more you have group coaching clients, the more you're going to feel this, right? The more you do it, the more you're going to be like, oh no, I actually really can help people. Oh, I didn't think about this. I can help them in this way, and this way, and this way, and this way, right? But even if you go on relevant Facebook groups and you start helping people, like just this morning, I'm in a group and someone was saying, oh, I don't have a lot of engagement in my program and people aren't coming to my coaching calls. Like, just seeing those questions, I can say, oh my gosh, I know what to do to help you. I can help you with that. And I can give them little ideas and tips in a Facebook group, right? Anywhere that you can find examples of how you can help people, helping people for free, helping people in your group coaching program, your one-on-one clients, whatever, to show, oh my gosh, you can prove to your mind that actually, no, I do have expertise. The other thing to keep in mind is when you're doing something new, it's about proving to your body that you are indeed safe. So as you do this new thing, you can do like honestly deep breathing that proves to your body and your mind that you are safe. And I think it's okay. I'm not an expert in the science behind it. I never was into biology, but I think it's like it triggers your parasympathetic nervous system. Am I right on that? It triggers your mind to feeling safe and secure in your body. You can do EFT, like tapping, to calm yourself down as you do these new things. So showing in your body that you're safe. And if you've had that feeling of, I don't have my unique method yet, the two things I would say is, first off, I can help you with that. That's what signature program design is all about. And it's also about going out, helping your clients, and then developing your own expertise as you work with them. That will come over time. And I mean, that is what we do in signature program design. If you want to create that unique method, that's what we do. So send me a DM. But these are things that you can overcome, that you don't need to let them stop you from actually going out and creating and running your signature program. The next toxic idea number 4, is I want to see if I can make my business work. Or what if this doesn't work? Or I wonder if this will work. Notice it's the if this will work. And this is one that has been one of the hardest for me to let go of, but it is so not helpful. If I can make my business work. Like you might say, okay, I'm quitting my job. I'm going to see if I can make my business work. And if it doesn't work, I'll go back to my job in a year, or I'll go. And I'm not saying you can't do that. Of course, you want to make sure that you're safe, but it's not about if this works, you make it work. Does that make sense? Because when you look at the people who you look up to, it's not that they had success right off the bat. They likely went through just as many struggles and challenges as you are going through now, probably more. It's that their mindset was, this challenge is a stepping stone to get me where I want to go. It's not proof that this isn't working or that it's not going to work. It's, what are you making it mean? Does that make sense? So when you encounter a failure, quote unquote, or a challenge, you don't get the number of signups that you wanted for your program. You can't fill your program. Someone gets upset with you. No one wants your offer. You don't get likes on your Instagram post, whatever it is that's upsetting you. It's that, know that happens to everyone. It's normal. It's what you make it mean. If you make it mean, oh, see, this is proof that it's not working, are you going to continue? Probably not. But if you say, oh, this is just a lesson for me to learn so that I can take it with me in order to get where I want to go, you're going to have a wildly different outcome. So what I would encourage you, and this is something that I've had to work through over and over again, is catch myself if this doesn't work. What if this doesn't work? And deciding I am going to make it work. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I will make it work. Like, I'm in it. I'm committed. Like we said in the earlier thought, I'm committed to making this work. And if you know of James Wedmore, another one of my mentors that I've learned from for a while, he says, your success is inevitable. And I was always like, well, that's nice for you. I don't know about that for me. How can you truly believe that my success is inevitable? Like, I love that. But it took me a long time to of hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. Your success is inevitable. And I was like, I finally get it now. It's that if you decide your success is inevitable, it will become inevitable. But you have to decide that that's what you're doing, and you're going to keep going until you get there. Does that make sense? So it's so much more empowering than wondering, what if this doesn't work? It's not about what if this doesn't work. Yeah, it might not work the first time, quote unquote. Maybe it even is working and you're not even noticing that it's working. That's a whole other topic that I've gone through as well. But what if it doesn't work is not an empowering. It's, I am going to make this work. So, okay, I'll this will be a longer episode. I guess usually I'm 20 minutes, but this is going to be a longer episode. I have a lot to say. One example is, what if this doesn't work? I was running Facebook ads for my teacher program, and I was doing them a little bit differently. My funnel was a Facebook ad to a freebie, became part of my funnel. And then those people started working with me, right? It was slightly different so it was a longer runway than what I have now, which a lot of people find me through a Facebook ad, come to my workshops, and then they join my program, right? So it was a longer runway. And I told myself that my Facebook ads weren't working. And then I saw proof that my Facebook ads weren't working because I would spend money and then they wouldn't become clients in a shorter period of time. So I told myself it wasn't working and I shut them off. But then after some time, I was like, were they actually not working? Is that really true? And then I looked back and then I looked at the amount of money that I spent on ads versus the number of people who came from ads and bought my program. I had an ROI. I had a return on investment. I think I had 4x or something like that. And so they were working and I freaking shut them off because I was convinced that they weren't. I don't even know. It was like your belief can really create your own reality, right? And so when you think, what if this isn't working or this isn't working, you can find evidence of it not working and shut things down that actually are working. Like ads were converting, they were just converting over a longer period of time. So I was afraid that they weren't working. And so I shut them down and I cut myself off from helping more people that I could help. It was crazy when I look back at it. So know that it's not about if I can make it work. It's I am making it work. I am going to make it work. And notice even if you're thinking, oh, it's not working, but it actually is. And you're inadvertently sabotaging your business because you're convinced it's not working when it actually is. So that's the fourth toxic idea. The last one is I don't have time. I don't have time. Maybe this is you if you already have like a practice, like a one-on-one practice. Maybe you're a therapist or you have some sort of one-on-one practice and you have kids at home and you're trying to start a group coaching business. Or maybe you're a writing coach and you're already writing, you have your own novel, you're doing some, manuscript editing on the side, you have some one-on-one clients and it feels like a lot to create a program too. Maybe you have little kids at home and you're only working during nap time. Hi, I built my business on nap time. I totally understand that. Maybe it's summertime and your family's home and you don't really feel like you have time because you need to give to your kids or your teenage kids or whatever. And I'm not saying that your other priorities in your life don't matter. Your work, maybe you're working a 9 to 5, you're building this on the side. It's not to say that your other responsibilities in your life don't matter. But what I am saying is it's about priorities, right? It's about priorities. And even more so, it's about conviction and faith. So I remember when I was building my business on nap times, I felt really guilty getting any kind of child care outside of nap times to work on my business. And so I didn't want to pay anyone. It was okay if my mom did it sometimes, but I still felt guilty about it. But then when I went to go and teach, I felt no guilt going in to teach and having my mom take care of my then toddler. And I was working part-time and running my business part-time. And I felt like, why is that? And at the time I thought, well, it's because I know that if I go into teach, I'm going to get paid. And so it's worth it. I know that I'm going to get paid for this, so it's okay for me to ask for child care help. But when I look back, the reason I felt guilty asking or paying for childcare to work on my business is I was like, what if it doesn't work? And I wasn't convinced that I was going to make it work. Therefore, I didn't prioritize it. Does that make sense? So if you say, I don't have time, I wonder if it's not a priority for you, or if it's not a priority for you because you're not fully committed and convinced. You don't have the faith that you're going to get where you want to go. Because if I told you in 1 year from now, I have seen the future. 1 year from now, I've seen in a crystal ball, you have beyond surpassed your goals. You have hit more than your financial goals. You have grown your program to a place that you never even, it's beyond anything you can fathom right now. You have helped so many people would you make creating your program, your next version of your program? Would you make whatever your goal is right now in your business, would you prioritize that? Would you feel like you have enough time? Like, say you're working, like you have one-on-one clients right now. If you knew that you were going to help way more clients in a year, would you let go of some of your one-on-one clients now so that you could work on launching your signature program? Does that make sense? Because if you say, I don't have time, yes, it's about priorities, but what I've realized at a deeper level, it's about really believing that you can do what you're setting out to do. If you have doubt, it can be easier to say, I don't have time, because then again, it's like, it's putting you out of the driver's seat. It's saying, oh, well, my circumstances mean I need to take care of my kids, so I don't have time. Or my bigger one was like, oh, but I just need to clean up the house first, then I can work on the business. What are clean dishes going to do for me? You know what I mean? So even one of my mantras as I was working through this is like creativity over domesticity. So yeah, I will clean up my house, but if I only have an hour to work, I'm not going to waste it doing dishes while my kids are sleeping. I'm going to work on my business and then I'll do the dishes later, whatever. They are not moving me towards my goals. There are always going to be more freaking dishes, always more laundry, right? So if you ever think, I don't have time, it's a matter of priorities and deciding that it's going to be worth your time and having that faith. So instead of saying, I don't have time, what if you tried instead, I have the time for the things that matter most. I have the time for the things that matter most. Or I can make progress even in short windows of time. I can make progress even in short windows of time. Progress is what matters, not like the speed. It's about momentum, about progress. That's what really matters. Even if you have a really limited amount of time or you have a lot of responsibilities that you're dealing with now, you can find pockets of time and trust that you're still going to make momentum, even if your momentum is slower than someone who didn't have as many things to worry about or that you were responsible for as you do. Does that make sense? You can still make progress instead of saying, I don't have the time and I can't move forward the way that I want to. So let's recap those 5 toxic ideas and how you can reframe them. So I'm not ready yet. I need to do something first, make more money, have more clients, whatever the thing is. And it's not about being ready. It's about being committed. It's not about being ready. It's about being committed. It's only possible to make money in the business space or the money-making space. And it's not about the business space or the money-making space. Is about a market offer match. Are you solving a problem that people already are looking for that solution and want to pay for, are willing to pay to get that solution? The next toxic idea is I'm not enough of an expert or I don't have a unique enough method yet. You have more expertise than you realize. It's about proving to your brain that you do, and you create your unique method by working with clients and developing it over time. And I can help you with that. The next toxic idea is I want to see if I can make my business work, or what if this doesn't work? And it's not about making it work. It's about, or what if this doesn't work? It's about making it work. It's about deciding that you are going to do it until it works. You are making it work. And it might not be the time frame that you want. Maybe you need to keep your 9 to 5 or a part-time job for a while. Maybe you need to keep more one-on-one clients for a while as you build it out. But you trust yourself that you're going to make it work. And then the last toxic idea is I don't have time. And it's not about having enough time. It's about priorities and trusting that you can make momentum and progress even in short windows, pockets of time, and trusting that it's going to be worth it, that your faith is stronger than your fear, and you really trust that vision of where you're going. And honestly, the thing that has helped me the most in trusting myself and having that vision and making it stronger than my self-doubt was being in containers where I could see other people like me doing what I wanted to do, where I could see that possibility, where I had coaches regularly helping me. Because when you do it alone, it's so much harder. And like the doubt and the voices around you well-meaning voices like often they just have never experienced what you're experiencing. They haven't had that goal. They're not an entrepreneur like you. And it's going to be hard to let go of those thoughts without having that container to support you. So I hope this was helpful. I trust it has, because I know these are all big ideas for me and for my clients that can make massive shifts for you if you can let go of them and really train your brain to rethink in those reframes that I gave you today. First off, if you found it helpful, join our summer series. The link is in the show notes. And I would love it if you could leave me a review on iTunes so that more people can discover this podcast episode and have those shifts as well. Because I know that having that social proof, that seeing other people's reviews can really make a big difference on the growth of our show and our being able to help other coaches like you. So thank you so much for listening. I look forward to seeing many of you who are listening at our summer series coming up very soon. And I will see you on next week's episode of the Align and Inspire podcast. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Align and Inspire podcast. I hope that it was helpful for you, that it inspired you. And before you go, if you found this episode helpful, I would love to have you join our summer series coming up very soon in July to help you really create that aligned signature program. If you want to join us, the link is in the show notes. I would love to see you there, and we'll see you on next week's episode of the Align and Inspire podcast.